Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Blade and Soul. I'm your host, the Dark Side, and today we're going to kind of get into discussion about, I guess, what we're going to discuss here is the dungeon system um, for Blade and Soul. This is going to kind of serve as a review. If you guys want to just see the gameplay for that Lakeside Cache dungeon, to skip ahead, but some of the information might be relevant to you depending on how you look at it. What we have here is the lobby system. As you guys were able to see in one of the dungeons, I think it was called the Plague Nest, I went in and I didn't even know it was a dungeon. It just kind of ended up, being that way. And I decided to stick around and fight this high-level boss. I just thought it was like a higher-level kind of field boss event or whatever. I didn't realize it was a dungeon, but I completed it. But this was a dungeon that I had failed in because there was like a little arachnid or a scorpion at the end. Who I do know now is called Pokey, and it's also another dungeon called the Lakeside Cache. Now, the reason why I didn't know it was a dungeon is because when you enter the instance, it says that these events are dynamic events. I hate to tell the developers of Blade Soul, but I think their understanding and their version of dynamic is different than our version of understanding of dynamic. When I passed that portal entryway in order to go into that area of the Lakeside Cache or the Plague Nest, it gives you a warning and it tells you that this content might be too high level for you to run soloable. But it doesn't tell me that that is a dungeon, nor does it tell me or take me to a screen or menu option in order to join a pug. A pug is pretty much a flute. It doesn't give me that option. So you're able to enter, and if you're able to complete it, then you're able to complete it. But if you're not, then you're not. That comes into the problem of now we're in this system which you are seeing on the screen. By pressing F8 on the keys, it will bring up the dungeon finder, and then you're able to go inside this dungeon lobby. I cannot begin to describe to you how dated this method of looking for groups is. If you played Elder Scrolls Online, if you played Final Fantasy or Realm of Thorn, if you played Guild Wars 2, if you played any of those things, you will understand quickly how dated it is. Because I'm looking for a group in order to enter a dungeon or a instance or whatever, then that doesn't mean that I need to be transported outside of the game world that I am in. It's something that queues up, places me in a queue, and I'm able to run around the world and still continue about what I'm doing without being stationary here and waiting 10 minutes. That's how long this is going to last before I actually queue into the dungeon. Now, keep in mind that we are talking about the difference in what they are calling a dynamic event. That's not a dynamic event. Dynamic means that every player that's in an area can run inside that little event area right there, and I will see other players doing their thing in there as well, and we all contribute to the general gameplay. For instance, if I was playing any of the Guild Wars Heart of Thorns content, right? If I was doing any of the Guild Wars content and I wanted to see go into like the Viridian Brink, which was the new Heart of Thorns stuff, right? I think Burden Brink, the new maps. Any quest that I go in there and I start doing or participating in participates in the whole map evolution event that's going on. That's a dynamic event because everybody is doing something together to interact. The rewards are instant, but the events, meaning I could be attacking a dragon, you could attack the same dragon I am, any rewards that come from that are instant. That makes it dynamic because both of us are changing. This is not dynamic. When I enter that, when I cross that threshold, I see no other players in it. It becomes an instant event for me. That's what it becomes. Now, if I'm in a party, it still becomes an instant event for the party because we don't see any other parties in there. We don't see any other random individuals in there. It is just us inside our instance, which you give me a portal to leave after I complete. That is an instance. That is not a dynamic event. So the problem that I have with this is twofold. One, these are not dynamic events. These are instances. Two, This dungeon lobby system is dated. It is quite old. Why you are queuing up and need to be in a lobby to queue up for a dungeon makes no sense. No sense whatsoever. I could go queue up inside most places for arena for like PvP that's occurring inside an MMO and not have to sit inside a lobby. Like, I think the only place where I've sat inside a lobby in quite a while was Guild Wars PvP Arena League, and even then that's not a lobby as in terms of this. I can still go and do other things within that world content. Now, I'm sitting here waiting for a 6-man party to join in for like 10 minutes in order to get just going in a dungeon. I only ever get as many as 4, which then goes to 3 because nobody wants to wait around for that. Lakeside Cache. Here goes the last point that I've got to make about the dungeon system. Okay, so when we get to the end of this dungeon, if you stick around for the content, go all the way to the end of the video, about 14 minutes into the video, and you will notice that the rewards drop. The reward for the Lakeside Cache was something crappy like the Viridian Poison, I think it was. It's a requirement to level up your, to go break through gear, right? So when we get there, you know, it comes up the same way you would play WoW, the same way you play Final Fantasy, the same way you play ESO, and it's like a roll pass, right? Roll on it, pass on. But this one says bid pass. That's what it said. So I'm just, you know, not in my mindset while I'm playing, and I'm thinking it's a bid, whatever. So I press bid, and I'm just thinking that's the alternative term for rolling on the item, right? No, you're actually bidding on the rewards in the dungeon, meaning you're using your earned cash in order to earn a reward. Meaning, I bid. He had 1 gold was the beginning bid. He bids on it, it increases by 2 gold. He bids on it, increases by 3 gold. Or you can change the level to those bids. It's almost like playing poker, right? Now the problem being with that is that think about this in terms of playing to win. While it's not necessarily play to win, in my opinion, it's almost like pay to progress, but it is play to win, and it's going to be taken as pay to win by a lot of people. Is that as you get into a realm of freemium versus premium, right? Because who can outbid whom and who wants to outbid whom becomes a concept. As a freemium member, I am limited to a cap on, you know, like there's not necessarily a cap, but there's a cap on gold and XP rewards, right? Now, as a as a premium member, the more I shop inside the NC Soft shop and the more I rank up inside that shop, the more rewards I get, right? So at rank 3 right now with NC Soft, if you purchase the Founder Pack, that's where they started you out. You get a 10% bonus to gold and XP, right? So that means that what? I am generating more gold at a faster rate than any of my premium counterparts. Meaning that if I play with my premium counterparts inside a dungeon, I should typically have at least 10% more gold than my premium counterparts in order to bid on items that are dropped inside of a instance dungeon event. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay. So just so that way if you see that problem. Now, there are some interesting things in here that you could do with inside the dungeon lobby that I really do like, but it's been done in other ways, so that way you, like, if you played Final Fantasy, you also notice the thing there. I'm not necessarily going to run inside this dungeon. If I don't want to, I can choose a 6-member party, I can choose a 4-member party. If I want to, I can choose whether or not people can join in on the party continually while I'm inside the event.
To a 4-member party.
There's no difference to that. Like, I've done that in plenty of other games without having to be in a fucking lobby in order to generate that. Now, the problem becoming here is that if I wanted to make sure that I was going to raid for some kind of gear, then I could also take into note here that I can stop other Kung Fu masters from joining in on the party, so that way I don't have to worry about it. This is a really weird system to me. It's really weird. I don't really like it at all, to be perfectly honest. With dungeons, it's so dated to me that it just doesn't make sense. Another bit of piece of information here is the whole game mechanics, the controls. I would like to know how many of you guys are experiencing this problem. I'm experiencing it ad nauseum, and if you guys have any solutions, I would love to know. So my first solution to the dual monitor screen setup was that I was able to put the game into actual real full screen mode. The game menu option says that you can be in full screen mode, but it's not really full screen. It's borderless window full screen, which means that my mouse cursor still has the possibility of drifting right off of the game and then interacting with my desktop. Well, even when I go into full screen mode, this still seems to be the case. I don't know if it's a Windows 8.1 issue or a Windows 10 issue that they haven't addressed yet, but it baffles me that, you know, we're 4 years into a game and these mechanics haven't been worked out. Literally every time I start getting into the heart of playing and starting to move around, usually it happens when I have to do my dodges and so forth. As soon as I dodge and then I start pressing the buttons, it automatically picks up my screen like it's interacting with my desktop background icons and so forth like that, instead of just interacting with the game. It's in full screen mode, be in full screen. I don't understand it. I don't get it. If you guys have any workarounds to that, please, by all means, leave them in the comment section so I can know, because that is one of the, like, I'd be more than willing to, like, to forgive some of the game's sins and just be like, whatever, they're things, they'll work them out. If I didn't have to deal with the freaking mechanics so damn much and be pissed off at how the mechanics work. The combat is so good when it is going. I am starting to feel a little bit bored with the Kung Fu Master because I haven't unlocked as many skills as I want to, and it is starting to feel pretty generic. Like you can see right now, we were fighting these guys right inside here in the dungeon, and then all of a sudden my fucking, you know, my energy saver thing came up in the back. My freaking, if I scroll too far down on the bottom of the screen, it's like the cursor should be in the middle of the screen, right where the freaking reticle is that you have to see, and it should stay there. But that's not what's happening. The cursor's still moving around on the screen as I move my things. This is bad mechanics. This is just bad layout, bad mechanics. I understand how they work, but I haven't experienced any other of the MMORPGs that I'm currently playing or played in the past. This is the first one. It's bad. It's hard. So if you guys have any of that stuff, workarounds for that you guys have found for that, please let me know. Last bit of information is I did find out, you know, one of my biggest complaints with the story has been the bad voiceover acting and so forth like that. If you guys have, if you guys don't know, there are language packs, like the Japanese language pack is out there, and I do want to use those to see the difference. I'd rather play the game almost thinking like freaking anime. Then I probably get a lot of the story stuff. I probably get a lot of the gameplay. I'm just playing the game, right? So I want to install the Japanese pack, but I was warned that the Japanese language pack is considered a mod, and therefore it could be considered standard. If you guys have any experience with that stuff, please let me know so I can understand what's going on with that. And I don't want to get banned. Please want me to, you know, get into the head start or whatever. I mean, it's going to be worth it. Play into the way is what I'm really looking forward to. So if you guys have any information on that, or any of you guys watching it, please go ahead and leave a comment in the section so that I know. That's about all I got for this video, guys. I'm feeling a little bit encouraged. I learned how to walk on water and learn some new skills, and leveling doesn't seem really slow. Level 45 seems like it's right around the corner. I'm hoping that's literally what it is. But I really do want to get into some of the PvP arena stuff, but I don't want to do the PvP arena without having figured out what's going on with this screen stuff and why I can't get a full screen and why my cursor keeps rolling off the screen and everything.
A higher bid has
but
been made.
I hope you guys are enjoying the videos and the content, and please like, subscribe, comment in the section. Everything helps, especially the comments on ways to make the videos better and so forth. And until next time, guys,
all auctions have ended.
Have fun.
So long. Come home to Papa. The 8 Masters? Who? Oh, those 8 Masters. They're around here somewhere. Masters, Masters. This old brain is still not operating at full power. After all, you need something to eat when you're drinking, right? Or else you'll get lightheaded. Oh, I know where they are. No, wait. I lost it. I need food. Get me some food. A man works up an appetite dealing with knuckleheads like yourself. That's the spirit. Talk to Old Man Jum. Face like a leather gauntlet. Can't miss him. He'll know where to rustle up some... Wasting your time? If you don't like it, take a hike off a cliff, why don't you? Leave an old man to starve. See if I care.